Hello YouTube, Dave here again. So I am back with another Dungeons & Dragons card opening video. So today I'm going to be looking at the monster cards for the creatures challenge ratings 0 through 5. So this is a pretty large set, as you can tell. I also have the 6 through 16, which again, to the best of my knowledge, is the only two that are out right now, and I don't know if there's actually plans for a third set, probably because of the amount of stuff that goes along with like the really high challenge rating creatures. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. These were put out by Gale Force 9, and they do a lot of really great accessories. The spell cards that they've done, the spellbook cards, have been absolutely incredible. I love those, can't say enough good things about those. The magic item cards were a little bit disappointing because of the fact that they only had use of the artwork that was in the Dungeon Master's Guide. So they had to use generic images for things that weren't shown in there. And I've heard a bunch of people say, or a lot of people have been commenting, that Wizards of the Coast would not allow them to commission their own artwork. So I don't know how true that is. If it is true, then I'm not going to hold it against Gale Force 9. But I will say that the font and the writing on those cards were really small for the amount of stuff that you might actually have. Like 2 lines worth of text on a card, and you have like 95% of the face blank, and you have to strain to read them. A little bit of a miss on that one. But anyway, let's hope that these monster cards are a lot better, and I'm sure they will be. I mean, as far as the information on the magic item cards went, that was still fine because it gave you, the pertinent information that you needed for those items, except for ones that you had to consult charts with because they usually steered you towards the DMG. But anyway, I think these are going to be really cool as well. So like I said, today we're going to be looking at the larger of the two, the Challenge 0 through 5. And this one's probably going to get a lot of heavy use because a lot of the campaigns that I run tend to be at the lower levels anyway. So having these, I think, is going to be absolutely fantastic. The box that I got does have a little bit of a ding there, which kind of sucks. But the store only ended up getting 2 copies in, and they both sort of had the same damage on them. So again, I'm not going to hold that against them. I'm just glad to have them. So we just have on the back here, there's 177 durable cards, laminated cards. Looks like the game statistics are all on one side of the card, with art of the creature on the other. And someone had mentioned that there are oversized cards in this one, so I guess we'll have to have a look and see exactly how that looks. I mean, they have one, looks like a preview of it on the back, so it may be interesting to see how they did this, if they can still sort of fit in a card sleeve or not. So like I said, I haven't opened this up yet, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Last thing I guess I should say before I do that, however, is the price. Now, if you live in the United States, it's $25 plus tax. However, they tacked almost $10 on to the Canadian price, and I know that the exchange rate isn't the greatest for the Canadian dollar, but that still seems a little steep, but it is what it is. I'm not going to worry about it. So let's just go ahead and see if we can get this open. Oh, that opened up pretty easily, and oh, already inside. Okay. Wow, those are oversized cards. Holy. Alright, let's see if we can get these things out of here. Now, I don't want to rip the box. That would be bad. There's no dividers in here, which I guess is okay. So, good lord. Alright, so you would need the oversized sleeves for this. So anyway, this is kind of interesting. So I'm not going to go through like the entire, every single card, but let's just go ahead and we'll look at one of the smaller ones. And you know what, we got lizard folk here. I'm going to end up opening all this up anyway at some point, so I may as well just sort of get to it. Now, I think with this, and this is not the way that I should be operating these scissors, so let's just see if I can get this opened up here. Let's take it behind camera. Yeah, so I assume that there are like sleeves and stuff that you can buy, even if they're just clear sleeves, for these oversized cards. The concern that I have is how easy these things might be to get out of alphabetical order, and I like to keep them sorted that way so that they're easy to find. And there's not even a divider in the box for like going across this way to separate the large cards from the smaller ones, so we'll see how well they go back in once I get everything sort of taken care of here. So we got the cards, and oh yeah, you can just hear how they're all just compressed together. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at our lizard man, or lizard folk, sorry. So we've got, okay, so one thing I think is actually pretty cool is they do give credit to the artist, and I don't know how well it's going to show up here, but they do give credit to the artist on the card itself, which I think is really, really cool. I'm glad that they did that. Artwork seems nice. It's taken, I think, straight from the Monster Manual, so I don't think anything here again would be different. It would be interesting to see if there's any ones that they didn't have the artwork for, and maybe they're just not included. But yeah, so we got the information that we got here. So we got Lizard Folk, Medium Humanoid Lizard Folk, Neutral, AC 15 with Natural Armor Shield, Hit Points 22 with the actual breakdown of what they get there, 4d8 plus 4, their speeds. Now one thing that they did here, which is the same thing that I kind of do for the most part, is it only gives you the modifiers for their stats instead of like the stat and then the modifier in brackets. You're not really going to use the actual stat number very often, so it's cool to have that. So +2 for their strength, 0 for dex, 1 for con, -2 for intelligence and charisma, +1 modifier for their wisdom. They have their skills that they're actually trained in is perception, stealth, and survival. And it has like their special ability here, so hold breath. So it can hold its breath for 15 minutes. Its languages, passive perception, and its actions. So pretty cool. Multi-attack, bite, heavy club, javelin, spiked shield. So really, really cool. I like this quite a bit. Let's just see if we can find something quickly that might have spell. I think most things have innate spellcasting. Actually, we got one right here. Hold on. Alright, so we have the Yuan-Ti Pureblood, and yeah, it looks like, because I think they had like Yuan-Ti Abominations, and I think they had more than just the Pureblood in there, but I think this was the only one that they had the artwork for, or at least the other one, the challenge rating might be a bit higher. And, oh, wait a minute, okay, no, sorry, I don't know why I completely missed this, but the challenge is on the bottom of the card, so that's good to know. But we have here, so like their innate spellcasting, which is kind of neat. And I think you can use actually like dry erase markers on these cards. So if you wanted to check off their how many things they've used, then you can do that. I think that these are also only going to have actual monsters on there. So like the NPCs from the back of the Monster Manual probably won't be included in terms of things like mage or stuff like that, wizard, apprentice wizard. But yeah, I mean it's still pretty cool. They got all the orc stuff here. Is this from the Monster Manual? Just someone, if you're watching, I don't have my books handy, so just let me know. This one actually, I don't recall seeing this art before. So maybe they do actually have new artwork for some of the ones, or maybe I just completely missed that was in there, but that's actually really cool. And you got your owlbear, of course, Pegasus, Piercer. Alright, really, really cool stuff. So we got the orc, ochre jelly, half ogre. Just trying to see if I can find more of those. I mean, the fact that it had like an actual different background makes me think that this was definitely from, that artwork was taken from somewhere else. But that's actually really cool. You got the Bone Naga. Bone Naga, oh, Spirited Guardian, okay. Mike and an adult. Okay, so they've actually taken artwork from, it looks like maybe more than just the Monster Manual. Or there's some that they still give the backgrounds to at least, which is cool. I'm liking it. Sprout. Pentadrone. You got your moderns there. Alright, that's actually pretty cool. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and have a look at these bigger cards. And I'm not going to turn it over because I kind of want to see this after I get it opened here. Oop. The plastic is really, really tight up against the card, so I don't want to damage the cards trying to cut the plastic open, but I think we got it here. All right. So, I mean, look at this. I mean, those are some big cards. So I'll have to figure out a way to try to do something with these. So these won't fit in your character folio, although I do get satisfaction out of hearing that sound when you first sort of crack them open. So let's actually just go ahead and we'll take off the bottom here. Okay, interesting. So we have, are these all the same? Okay, alright, cool. So we have here the Yonti Malison, and there's 3 different ones shown here. So we have this one, and that one I don't remember seeing either, or at least not off the top of my head. And then we've got that one there. So these are all different types apparently. So you have type 1, as you can see there, type 2, and type 3. So that's actually pretty cool. Although a lot of their stats are, I think, pretty much the exact same. Oh. Yeah, their physical stats are the exact same. It just has the different types of actions that they can get for their types. So anyway, that's sort of interesting. You have their innate spellcasting and stuff there. Yeah, okay. Well, that's interesting that they give you the 3 different types, so you have to know which type that you're using here. They're all the same challenge, though. They're all the same experience. Their physical stats look the same. Their spellcasting stuff looks the same. It's just basically this other side of the card that makes the actual difference. So that's kind of cool. Let's see if we can find something else in here that's kind of neat. We don't need the Yeti. And there may be a few of you that actually get that reference. Okay, Rugged Smothering, Banshee. All right, here we go. This is what we'll end the video on. The Spectator. So this is one of the Beholderkin. Again, it gives the artist name down there, which is really, really cool. It's got the artwork from, if I don't think it was in the Monster Manual, but this was in Lost Mine of Phandelver, which I actually finished. I finally wrapped up that adventure. I have to do a video sort of on that as well, but love Beholders, Beholderkin, and anything Beholder related is awesome. So we just have, again, Spectator, medium aberration, with their statistics here. So AC, hit points, speed, the stat modifiers, skills, challenge 3 for 700 experience points, and their abilities. So bite and eye raise. Spell Reflection. I think I actually missed that ability, but I don't think it actually came into effect. I think that when my party fought it, I think they just basically bashed it with weapons, or they were spells that required attack rolls. But yeah, so you got all their things here. Confusion Ray, Paralyzing Ray, Fear Ray, Monster Manual page number that you can find it on. So yeah. So that's actually, so these are pretty cool. The oversized cards, they're neat. I'm not going to say that they're not. They are, pretty cool. The only thing that I would sort of say is I would have almost preferred a double-sided card, just for the purposes of trying to, like, for example, these boxes aren't necessarily the best, so for some of my spell cards and stuff, like my magic item cards, because of how tight that box was, I put them all in, like, Dragon Shield boxes, because they're great for that sort of thing. And I can't really do that with these, so I'll have to figure out maybe a way to do something with this. But anyway, I still think that that overall they are pretty cool, and they can make having having everything at your table much easier. And yeah, I think these will come in pretty handy when it comes to setting up and running games. And of course, there's all kinds of things in here. Shadow Demon, if you watch the D&D animated series. Bearded Devil. Drow Elite Warrior, Ettercap, got Were-Rat, Werewolf. Anyway, just some really cool stuff. Pseudo-Dragon, that's actually some really nice looking art there. The old Rust Monster. Shadow. Succubus and Incubus. Okay. The Will-O-Wisp. I guess if I had any sort of criticism, aside from the size of the double-sided cards, which is something that I can honestly live with, I think that the only thing I would say is that it is a bit of a contrast when you see like a card that has like an actual scenery and stuff built into it, into the art, and I think that this looks a little bit more impressive than just something like this. But at the same time, a lot of the images in the monster manual were just like this anyway, so I can kind of understand that. But it is a bit of a contrast when you see like just something full of color, and then you see like just the monster with a sort of a blank background. But overall, I think that these are really cool. I like them, and I definitely would recommend these. Still a little not on board with the Canadian pricing that they put on these. I think that that's a little bit too high, and definitely taking advantage of exchange rates there, in my opinion. But this is it. You know, that I like these cards overall better than the magic item cards, just because it looks like all the art, you know, is there. There's nothing that's a placeholder. There's nothing that's, you know, sort of missing. You know, the font size makes sense for the amount of the card that's actually being used. So if you only have the funds to pick up one of the two sets, this was also cheaper than the Magic Items cards, which were $40 Canadian, and I forget the US price. But anyway, I definitely recommend these, and if you can only afford one set of you know, these types of cards right now, and you're choosing between magic items or monsters, then I would pick the monster cards. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of these in the comments below. Do you have these already? Have you been using them at your games? And how easy are they to use and reference at your table? So I would love to know all that. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Take care.